Reese and I are going caravanning today, and I really have not picked the best weather to start this trip. And we've made it to the campground. We're in Hawera in Taranaki for a garden festival. That was the main reason for this trip. Garden festival is on this weekend. Reese was amazing. It was about 3 hours to get here, or just over 3 hours. The downside is my ute was playing up for the last half an hour, and I don't know if it needs to go to a mechanics or not. I was just talking to Hayden and he said drive it around without towing the caravan just to see. So it just made the last half an hour a little bit tense, wondering if we were going to make it. It had this mechanical smell, strong mechanical smell. I think the gears clanked into gear really strongly a couple of times. The four-wheel drive light turned on once. That was the problem it was doing before. It was doing that a lot. And the new thing, the overdrive off light was flashing on and off, which has never happened before. And when I got out and peered underneath, the gearbox area looked oily. So yeah, don't know. Can you see the oily dots there? And on the back. I'm just going to go into town now to the supermarket, just test the car, see if we have to go to the mechanic as soon as tomorrow. But first impressions, campsite seems nice. So we drove to the supermarket, the car went well, that's really reassuring. Still don't know what actually was wrong with it though, but I don't know. It feels reassuring, I'm going to take that. We went to Countdown and I just splooged and bought all the nice food we don't have locally. So we're just going to have an easy dinner and enjoy all the fun snacks over the next couple of days. You found the sunscreen. Did you find the sunscreen? And I'm already finding this trip much easier with Reese at this age, where he's walking around a bit and just kind of understand a little bit, and yeah, we'll see how it goes, but I'm hopeful. I haven't really figured out where to store things. There's just a few bags shoved in cupboards and it doesn't feel quite settled like it used to do. I imagine it takes a few days. You don't like it, one? Good morning. We both slept well. I was surprised that Reese did so well, slept till 6 AM. I had wondered if the noises around here would keep me awake, since living rural, it's very quiet at home. And here there was the noise of the road and someone letting off fireworks and general campground noises. But no, I slept solidly. Once Reese had fallen asleep last night, I started Googling what could be wrong with the ute. It could be to do with the transmission fluid. That's when the OD light blinks on and off. And there was some oil around that area when I looked under the car, so I'll attempt to check it this morning. And I don't know whether I can try to fill it myself or if I should get a mechanic to do it. So I know there's an oil check and then a transmission fluid check. Where would because I'm pretty sure that's the oil. I think I saw a start of a video where I thought it was further back, but It doesn't look promising. Well, I talked to Hayden and he said the transmission fluid, I'd have to go under the car, and it was just feeling a bit hard, so I thought, why don't I ring a local mechanic, see if they can have a look for me. First guy I rang, they were too busy, but they passed me on to someone else, who passed me on to someone else, and they're going to, after talking about it, it sounds bad, so they're going to collect it here. I can hang out at the campground, but they're not positive that it can be fixed in one day, so there's no car rental, and yeah, I don't quite know what to do if it drags on. So the mechanic's just been and collected the ute for me, and I guess today is just wait and see. I've been looking into transport options around here too, and car hire. It gets complicated because nothing seems to run on the weekends, and it's Friday today, and the one rental company's in Stratford, which is an hour away, so it will be challenging if we don't have a vehicle this weekend. Yeah, just like practical things like food. So me and Reese are going to go to the park next door and have a look there at least. Mechanic just rang. They're thinking it's the transmission overheating when I'm towing. So they say the transmission oil is pretty dirty and the filter, so they want to flush the oil, change the oil over and the filter. They need to order in a filter, which is coming on Monday. So we're going to stay longer than planned. The great news is I'm getting my ute back. They seem to think it's okay while I'm not towing, which kind of lines up because it has been fine, and then it's sudden all this problem happened only when I was towing, so it kind of makes sense. So I could see some gardens. Let's put that back. Yeah, you got a biscuit if you want. Hmm? This morning, Reese and I are planning to see as many gardens as we can see, ending up in New Plymouth. And Reese seems to be getting an eye infection. What timing? I feel like this trip really has become a bit of holiday of accidents. So we'll keep an eye on that. He needs a prescription to get the eye drops if we need to get them, and everything's shut on the weekends. So hopefully hang in till Monday. And there's no after-hour doctor here either, so we'd have to drive to another town. So, not the easiest, but we'll see how we go. Oh, thank you, Reese. So I think I'm going to go to Stratford, which is actually 20 minutes away, or half an hour away, or something like that. It's pretty close. There's one garden I might see. Yeah. And then we'll carry on to New Plymouth. Yeah.
I'll finish going in here and then I'll just go next door, straight through here and straight down the mirror.
Just went to a wonderful, inspiring garden. Yeah, Reese loved it. Found a dog watering bowl and loved playing with that. Now I just saw that there was a beach down the road with a campground, and yeah, I'm already impressed. Let's go explore. Yeah, that's a good one. Me and Reese just took the ute to the mechanic and then someone dropped us back home. And now we wait. They're replacing the coolant, a filter and the oil, and just basically giving it the best chance it will to not overheat again. The campground owner has been lovely here and fine with us staying a couple more nights. He, funnily enough, had a story about transmission overheating with his tow vehicle, and unfortunately he ended up permanently damaging his vehicle, which is kind of not a story I want to hear right now. I do wonder, even with this service, I might take it easier going home, stop a couple more times maybe, and not slam on the accelerant as I go up hills and stuff. The tricky part is, when I start driving and Reese falls asleep, I kind of want to keep driving while he's asleep and get as far along as possible, but yeah, I don't know. It could be an interesting trip home. Then there's a pool next door which has apparently a pretty good baby toddler area, so I think that's where we're going to go now. You're trying to put it down the side? Yeah? There. So we're packing up this morning and heading home. I picked up the ute yesterday, a very painfully high bill. A lot of it was just cost of filter and different oils. So the ute has been freshly oiled everywhere. Hopefully it's good to go. I think it's coolant and engine oil and transmission fluid or something rather. Lots of oils. They were really nice at the mechanics, and they've been really nice here too. The guy even gave me a free night because he said mechanic bills are generally pretty high, and he was right. But to be honest, that mechanic I would go back and use again because they seemed really genuine, and I didn't feel like I was being ripped off or anything, which is a worry when you're a female going to a mechanic sometimes, like that you don't know. And made it home. But we did have car problems on the way home. This time it definitely was to do with four-wheel drive, very similar to what was happening a few months before, where the four-wheel drive light flashes and then the gears clunk loudly a couple of times, and then you have a really strong mechanical smell. Having a chat with Hayden, he feels like it's to do with the four-wheel drive. Maybe when the car heats up, there's some wiring, touches something it shouldn't, and it tries to put itself into four-wheel drive while I'm driving about 80-90 kilometers an hour, and it doesn't like that. So I just rang the mechanic. He's going to go in next week, and we're going to disconnect the four-wheel drive system and then just test it, see if that makes a difference. Well, the 5 days I was away, I feel like the garden has really taken off. Everything seems to be growing all at once. So I've just been mulling over where to plant the few things I bought at the garden festival and taking some of the ideas I learned